All right, guys, welcome back to Exit 45. So we're playing around with the Thunderbird again. So there's a lot of little things right now that need to be done. I need to go through the engine bay, clean up that, organize it. We got a small leak on the power steering pump. So there's Dad. Hi, Dad. It's his video. He built it, so it's leaking. So we need to pull it off. I'm just kidding. It's leaking. It's his fault. Anyway, so going to do that. I'm still trying to figure out the gas gauge. Doesn't seem to be working very well, or at least it's the setting unit or something. So I got to play around with that. Small little oil leak or transmission fluid leak coming from, looks like maybe the vent tube. Not sure. Got to investigate that. And I need to get the bumper busted apart and get that taken care of so it's ready to go on when we're ready. Yeah, I mean, I think after that it's just fenders and hoods. So there's a lot of little things, I guess, what I'm trying to say. So stay tuned. We're going to get through this video and try to get as much of that done as we can. All right. All right, so we've messed around with the fuel sending unit up underneath here. I pulled it out, verified its movement, and that the movement worked on the gauge. I've poured probably 4 or 5 gallons in it, and the gauge is just coming up to the E. it's way off in the case, and then it finally, there you see it, and then it sits right there at the E. Is where it's gotten so far. So I don't know how much gas I have in the tank exactly to know whether, I assume 5 or so gallons should get me above E. So I don't know if I need to try to adjust the float so that it, reads more correctly. I really don't know. I'm probably above the line now, so I'll have to burn off some gas to be able to open it back up. But that's where that's at. We'll probably, once I get some gas burned down, I'll probably have to pull that open again and see if I can maybe make an adjustment on that float and maybe get it reading a little bit more accurate. Anyway, I did look underneath here at the transmission, and I don't see where it's coming from anywhere, so I only assume it burped a little bit from the cooling or the vent line, so I think that's probably okay. We got this, but we're going to get to that a little bit later. I think the first thing I'm going to do after going through all those other things, I'm going to bust this apart. So let's bust that down. Dad wants something to clean. Well, I've never busted one of these apart, but I think probably the way to go here will be to get this grill part of it here, all the bolts out, get that loose. And then I am probably going to separate the bottom bumper from that top bumper. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I should just take off the bumper brackets from the bumper itself and then pull this out. I'm not 100% sure what the best way to go about this is. There's a little 7/16. Okay, I'm going to bust the rest of these off, and then I'll bring you back in. All right, so we got it loose. You can see here, it's in here loosely. It's not going to come out. So we'll start busting the bolts off of these bumper brackets. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bust these off, and I'll show you when I got it. All right, let's got them all loose. There we go. All right, there's that. We should be able to pull this out now. All right, there we go. Just bring this over here. There we go. All right, now we'll finish this side and then we'll have it busted down. Well, a little status update. You can see I got the top bumper piece is separated now. And I got one bolt left to get the bumper bracket off, and it's this one right here. And unfortunately, there's like, I'm assuming some kind of a case nut or, I don't know, welded nut. Whatever is back there is given way. So now I'm resorting to trying to get some pressure behind it to get a little friction to help me out. Next thing to do, if I can't get it out that way, will be to cut that off and replace it. But anyway, that's what's going on. It's fighting me, but I'm almost got it. There you go, guys. Got the power steering pump out. It's a whole lot easier when it's not so much stuff underneath the engine bay. Anyway, hated to pull it out, but appears as though we got a leak, either possibly from the seal up in here or this case here maybe. So I don't but I don't think it's going to be too hard to figure out. You see how it's wet up in there? So looks as though the seal here for this shaft is what's leaking, so I'm going to have to figure out, hopefully we don't have any problems with our case or anything. But all right, I'm going to have to pull that apart and get that shaft, that seal out. Probably going to have to order a new one, so yay. All right, here we go. There you go. You can see right there where it's been leaking. You can see the difference between this side and this side. It's nice and clean up here, but it's definitely been leaking from this area. So I guess we're gonna have to split this case and see if we can figure out what's going on. But I'm gonna guess that that right there is where our problem is. It looks kind of like the seal on this thing, the rubber seal, has gotten all bunched up in here. Yep. All right, I'm gonna split this case and we'll go from there. But I'm gonna have to order another seal, so this is gonna be on hold going back in until I get that new seal in. All right, we figured it out. So once I got everything out of here, I was able to get my finger down in here, and I could feel like a chunk of the rubber right here was like laying down, and I pulled it back up and it's back in there again, but it's, you know, obviously garbage. All right, I'm gonna order another one of these seals here. We'll pull this one out, and then when that comes in, we'll get this put back together and back in the car. And hopefully the seal stays together this time. All right, guys, well, it's morning and we're back out here, and I got Dad busy doing something he always enjoys doing, organizing. So he's just taking all the hardware bins that have been just kind of getting overrun and cluttered, and he's checking in, verifying what size the hardware is, and we're bagging it for now until I come up with a better system. this currently what I'm using, and it's just, you know, it works, but I don't have enough space necessarily. I need to figure out a way to get more space and be able to, you know, organize it a little bit better. Anyway, he's going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm just about done over here. I got one bolt. You guys saw that just a little bit ago yesterday. We're still waiting on the seal for the transmission, or the power steering pump here. So this, we're kind of dead over here right now. So that's kind of where we're at on all the little things we're trying to do. So, you know, this bloody mess over here. Anyway, that's where we're at. So we're going to probably get back on this while Dad's organizing. And, well, I'll bring you back in once I got that separated. And then we'll probably start wanting to get that cleaned up so we can get it back together. There we go. The car that just keeps giving. All right. So there's a cage nut up underneath there that's just spinning. So now I got to figure out how to get it the rest of the way out. Huh. Now you can see right here is what's left of the cage that was holding this nut right here in. It's there and it's destroyed. Part of that's by me, but part of it was already done. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to replace the bolt, obviously. But I think what I'm going to do is put the cage nut back here, but on the top side, weld it in, because it won't interfere, because everything sits right on top here, so the cage nut won't get in the way. So I will just weld that on the top side and then put a new bolt in. So next thing I got to do is get the this cage nut off of here. So we're gonna give that a go. Thought I'd show you, George, that I did get the right gas this time. You've been bugging me about that, I don't know, 2 or 3 times now. Oh, this is not going to be easy. All right, we got it turning. She don't want to go past that right now, so we're gonna have to work it slow. There we go. Got it. And there's our nut. We'll clean that up. Make sure those threads are good, and we'll weld her down. All right, there you go. We're welded down. We got a bolt in. That is going to solve our problem. We can move on. Dad is still sorting hardware. And he's in his element. Don't even let him fool you. He loves this. But I think we're going to have to redirect because we got parts over here that need to be cleaned up and ready to put back together. So me and Dad are going to start cleaning. All right, I was able to finally tear my dad away from the bolts and nuts separating. He loves it so much. So we're going to start with, Dad's going to start working on the chrome pieces, and I'm going to work on this ginormous bumper brackets. These things are huge. I'm sure that it doesn't do you guys any justice to look at this. They're massive. Here, put it over here by Dad. Look how big that thing is.
And it's only one of them.
Yeah, that's just one side. These things are ridiculously big. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knock down most of the rust on this. So I can hit it with a rust converter, and then once I got that, I can paint it and it'll be ready to go back on. Dad's working a shine on it. All right, let me show you what I got. All right, here's what I got. So I just rinsed it off. I knocked all the rust I could off of it. I'm gonna go, once this dries, we'll spray it with some rust converter and get that process started. All right, let's get the second one going. All right, we got one chromed out. Let's go get the other one. Can't have him sitting around. He's got to earn his Chick-fil-A. And piece number 2.
Something hit it.
Oh yeah, little scars from its life.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get a little rust converter on here. All right, a little update in the shop. Dad's getting going on the top half of the bumper.
Yep. Years of grime got to come off. But there's the man to do it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to get going on while I'm waiting for other things to dry is I'm going to start to clean up the hardware. You can see them right down in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get these sandblasted and cleaned up so I can get them painted. And there we go, all cleaned up, ready to be painted. All right, got them cleaned up. Now let's get them painted. Let's see how Dad's coming along on the bottom half of the bumper. You getting there? This one's going to be the hard one.
A few extra dents on this one.
Yeah, this one here has been tweaked. Right here, it's pushed in over here. This basically the whole center sections. They hit something. Looks like they jumped over it and then pulled back. And bent that up. They got it pretty good, but it's not terrible. Well, I'm waiting on paint to dry and amongst other things. So I've got some issues with my front grille, and you can see pretty quickly what they are. Right here. And this one right here is not right either. So it looks like I've got 3 of them that I need to straighten. And by looking at this, you can see the rivets. They're on either end. And then when we flip this over, there's little tabs. These things have little tabs on them. And it looks like you have to rotate them a little bit, and then it slides out. And there's like a little catch in there that those little arms catch on, and if you rotate just a little bit past it, it should slide out. And that would be nice, because then I could get these straightened out, at least the best I can without it together, and then I could get all this cleaned up and painted, and then we could put it all back together, and hopefully it goes back together correctly. Probably, since it looks like there are nope, scratch that. There's, the tabs will tell you exactly where to put everything. And then I just have to put rivets back in. So, sounds easy enough. Should never say that, right? All right, so I'm going to pop rivets and on one of them, and we'll use one as a test case to see if I can get the others off easy enough. All right, well, we're going to give my theory a test here. There's one. Let me get the other side. All right, so we got those off, and all it looks like you have to do, and you can see this one here is already starting to come out, is you have to twist this side down and this side up, just kind of twist it, and then they pop out, and it gets them past that little notch. That one's good. There you go, there's another one. Come on. Which one of you is holding me up? There we go. There we go. go. You can see the little tabs there. Okay. And when you go, you'll put them back in. It's just the opposite. You'll come back up into the groove, and then twist that, and it'll lock into a locking feature up in here. So it's not terrible. Trying to remember which way they go is going to be fun. I'm going to have to lay these out in order exactly.
Yeah, they're numbered.
How they go. Okay, I'm going to pull all of these out because it'll be a whole lot easier to clean and get everything just like I need it. So when I take these off, I'm going to be keeping them in the exact order and direction that they go with this bars in the direction that they are. So this way I can keep this thing, otherwise I could put them in upside down, going together and, not know it. So this is going to keep me straight. All right, there you go. It's all tore apart. That is going to make it a whole lot easier to fix each of those slats. And I have it laid out exactly how it came apart and how it would go together. So an observation that I had was, you can see here, as you go to the top ones and they get smaller, these get closer together than these do. So I was able to drill these out individually without having to take all this off. But once I got to here, all of those, I couldn't get to those to drill them. I had to do it one at a time. After I took one off, I could get to the other, which means you got to go back together with the small one, okay, and work your way to the big one. So just an observation of anybody's going to tear their grill apart and be crazy stupid like I am. That's how you do it. So now I got to straighten them, clean them, paint, and put it back together. But that's all we're doing for today. We're going to go home. You can see Dad's tired. I worked him too hard. We'll get him home. All right, guys. See you tomorrow. All right. Well, it's another morning, and we're out here just fresh off of our Chick-fil-A breakfast. And Dad's continuing on working on this bumper and trying to get it cleaned up and buffed up. So we'll let him continue to do that. All right, and I'm out here painting the bumper brackets, getting some a little extra protection on those now that we got them cleaned up. And while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and start on getting these grill pieces straightened up and ready for this to go back together. All right, so that's where we're at. So I'm going to press on right here while that's drying. All right, so before I straighten out the grill slats, I'm going to go ahead and get a coat of paint on these and get that drying so that we're that far ahead. All right, that'll at least get a nice uniform color. All right, let's get on to this. All right, well, let's start with this really crooked one and see if we can get it straight. All right, let's see what we can do. We're getting closer.
Looks pretty good.
Got a little twist to it, but we're getting there. There we go. We got it pretty well straightened out and flat. Yeah, it looks a lot better. It looks like a little bit of a turn maybe right in there, but really close. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of these. There's only a handful of them that need to be done, so I'm gonna go ahead and get those done. All right, so Dad's got the bumper cleaned up, so we're all done with the chrome parts at this point, and all we got to do now is finish up these slats. I've got them all straight. You can see over here, they're all cleaned up and straightened out, and he's going through and cleaning them up. So I'm gonna be able to pull this up, back up here, and start reassembling this. So he'll, as I put them together, he'll clean them and then I'll put them on. So, all right. Look at him work hard. That's what happens when you get some Chick-fil-A. All right, so we start with the smallest slat first. Go in reverse order, or you'll never get the rivets back in there. So this side here is where the short end goes. So then you take the tab and it inserts it back into the first groove here, and then the rest is I'm not sure about. So if I can show you here, but if you look inside there, you can see the little metal tabs that are going to lock it into place. So we've got to push it hard enough to get past. You can see where they're indented here in the inside. We got to push it hard enough in there to get past those and lock it in. So not sure what the secret sauce is on that, but we'll figure it out. No matter what I do, it looks like it's going to be difficult and tight. So let me get to a little stronger table that I can work on bringing this, getting those tight together, and then get the rest of them on. All right, we got the rubber mallet. We'll see if we can just be gentle with it at first and see if that's enough. Not quite. Okay, well, it looks like it did it. All right, let's see if we can get this one in there. Okay, there's two. Okay, so this is the end piece where it gets riveted on to each end, and this will go on just like that. And there's your reference, because we're right now the inside of it, toward the radiator, is the part where we got up right now. So anyway, there's that. So we'll get that riveted on, because it's hard to get to these. All right, got this side on and riveted, and same over here. All right, we got the third one in, and I think in the end we were able to just set this where we want it, like this, and just work it in with the rubber mallet. Or the other thing we did was took a couple of screwdrivers and pried this open so that we could get that to just pop up in there and then bend it back. Not really sure which is the best way, but I think it's going to end up being a combination of just whatever we can do to get it to snap in here without damaging anything. All right, so we got the fifth slat started, and I think we figured out a way of doing this. So you can see the two tabs on either side of this, and then you can see the part of your slat that's coming through that's got to go past those and lock in. So what we're doing is we're taking some needle nose and we're bending this tab here up so it goes around those two locking things here on the side, and then as we get it to pull in and get it tight in there, we bend it back down over those. So that seems to be working out pretty good. So you can see here these two tabs that stick out, and then in here you can see what they got to lock around. You see there, right there where that's divoted in. So slide that in. You bend that tab up, slide it the rest of the way in, bend the tab down. That seems to be the easiest way to make this work. So there you go. That's how we're doing it. All right, once you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth one, you start with these extra pieces because you get an extra tab on either end. And these are the same thing. They just slide on into the groove just like that. Then you come to the other side. And it's no different. You got to get it past the locking tabs and, you know, you're good to go. So, all right, and there you go. Got the end pieces on. And they're locked in, so we can keep going like we've been doing. There we go. Got all the slats back on. It's not fun, but you know, you can see how you can do it. You just bend the tabs up out of the way, get it up in there, and bend the tabs back. It's the easiest way. These first three, really hard to do because you can't get in there to bend the tabs. So you got to fight it. But it can be done. I did it, so yeah, you guys can do it too. Anyway, I need to get the pop rivets in on both sides. And then some of these got broke during the process. I just need to rivet them back in, so I'll do that. All right. That looks really good. Everything's nice and even and straight. Got the braces back there painted black again. They look really nice. All right, I'm gonna go get the bumper brackets and start putting all of this together. All right, I have everything sitting here. I'm gonna figure out which side those go on. Here we go. So we got the first bracket on, and I just got one bolt holding it on there. I got one bolt holding the two bumper halves together, and I'm just gonna leave that like that for now. And if I remember correctly, when I took this apart, to get that in, I have to have one of these off, so I can go ahead and put this in right now and just get it in there, loosely in there. Then I can put the other bumper bracket on. There. Giving him the break I have to give him. It's mandatory by law. So, brought him some water and a banana. Yep. Anyways, while I'm finishing up the bumper over here, he's back on sorting hardware. So, look. He's doing the metric. All right. Get after it. Get that. So we got it all snugged up. Nothing's tight. So I should be able to get this situated in here now and get all my hardware all set up on the grill. All right, got the grill loosely installed. Everything lined up good. Didn't have to fight anything. So I think we're at a point where I can go ahead and snug everything down. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten up all the bolts through the whole thing, and then we'll flip it over and see what we got. Well, there we go. We got it all back together, cleaned up. Nice and straight on the louvers, on the grill there. Looks much better than it did. Yeah, I like it. Looks good. It's not perfect, but, like I've told you guys many times, I'm not looking to bring everything to perfection on this build, bringing some of the old with it. And this is one of them. Partly because that's pretty much unattainium in any kind of, better condition than the one I got. All right, I'm going to get the lights, turn signal lights on there, and running lights, and we'll wrap this up. All right, we got it all wrapped up. Turn signals, running lights are on. There you go. I think we're gonna call this done. Car's not ready for it yet, but it's getting pretty close. So I'm waiting on a couple of things to be able to get to that point. So this was a good project to get on. It's a lot of chrome right there. Anyway, there it is. So Dad's over here still doing hardware. Going to town on it. I think we're going to go ahead. I'm going to jump on these while Dad continues over there on the hardware. I'm going to go ahead and get these horns in and hooked up. All right, guys. Well, this is going to have to wait till tomorrow. It's time for me to get in the house and get cleaned up, get something to eat. All right. So I'll be back out in the morning, and we'll get those horns installed. Well, good morning. I'm back out here today, and why don't we get back over here to the Thunderbird? I guess we got to pick up where we left off. I guess that's on the horns, right? All right, well, let's get these horns on. There you go. Couple horns all installed, ready to go. All right, so got our new seal in. I got it installed. Got this case put back together, brackets on. So I just need to put the pulley back on here and I'll install it in the car. So we can move on from that. Dad's still in his natural habitat, sorting hardware. All right, got it back on. Which I'm going to tell you guys something. All that new bracketry for the AC, aftermarket AC that we put in, really makes this a booger to change out. Get this on and off in the car. So, just a heads up, if you're going to do one of those, it does make this a little more difficult. Anyway. It's back on. We're going to go ahead and crank this thing and let it run for a little while. You guys don't need to see that. So we're going to wrap this up. We did finally get everything we needed for that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So we got a lot done on this video. So we're going to do the same thing on the next video. Just going to keep going, work down the list. I got a list set up of everything I need to do to finish this thing out. And we're just going to start crossing things off. So, all right, I'll catch you on the next one.